Welcome into Peanut Butter and Triggered. I'm Scott, joined by my boy
Jay Eastwood
and my boy
Dan.
And we're here. We're here to talk about video game controversies, which this last week has really been a big thing, and our thing is triggered. So this is people actually getting triggered.
What you gotta cut that out.
Why?
You went down the wrong pipe.
I'm surprised. That
Leave
took some willpower.
Let them hear.
No.
All right, so we're going to talk about controversies. There's a whole bunch of news. We're going to talk about people being triggered, and Jay is opening a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here's to being triggered.
Triggered. So, a lot of news coming out. First and foremost, Fallout 76 trailer. Did you boys see that?
I did.
I sure did.
What do you think?
Well, it looks kind of familiar. It looks similar
looks like Fallout
to.
4.
Well, it looks the feel gives me some Rust vibes.
Well, that's the big rumor is that it's inspired by Rust.
Mm.
And so the interesting thing about this one is I dove into the lore a little bit, and this game takes place like 20 years after the bombs went off, whereas like Fallout 3 and 4 take place like 200 years after the bombs went off. So there's like no super mutants. The bombs will be like, everything should be newer than in the other Fallout. So
I don't know if I like that. I'm pretty down with the mutants.
No, I kind of like that though.
No death claws?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is like, yeah, they're gonna have different feels, but then the coolest thing is it's gonna be you against a bunch of humans.
yeah, it's all multiplayer, so it's going to be a completely different feel.
This stupid new trend.
Oh, the battle royale.
We've abandoned campaigns so that you can play with your stupid fucking friends. Who gives a shit?
Ben,
He's playing God of War.
people enjoy playing with their friends though.
Well,
Yeah,
the
when you
hard
don't
thing
have
is,
them, it's tough.
yeah, I was gonna say Ben has one friend on his friends list.
There's 2 people here. What does that say about me? I'm in a room with 2 people. You only have 1 friend. Wink, wink.
Well, for those of us that do have friends, I think that this is a welcome surprise.
Me too. I'm excited, and a lot of people are afraid it's going to be like something like Fallout Shelter or something. I don't know if you guys played Fallout Shelter, which is like a mobile. It's like a mobile, exactly, like a mobile click to collect energy to spend.
I saw it.
And stuff.
It's so dumb.
I'm hoping Fallout 76 is a lot better, but we know nothing about it other than a little bit what they think a little bit.
What is the significance of the 76?
So 76 is a vault. So if you played through the Fallout games, each vault had a specific social experiment it was running on people.
I do recall.
And 76 was a control vault, so it had no experiments ran on it. It was ran like a normal vault, and 20 years after the explosion, everybody gets let out. So the idea is probably you come out thinking, like everything's normal or something.
And like some guy
so
has
they don't even know that the world's got all fucked.
Well, I think they know the world's got all fucked because you go in there when the world starts to get fucked.
and they come out and there's like a guy with the arm growing out of his brain.
Yeah.
Dude, but how cool would that be? Like, that'd be a cool concept. There was a vault that people lived in, and like it was just an experiment. Then the world went to shit, and they came out and they're like, "Oh wow!"
Isn't it like this is a Keanu Reeves movie, isn't it? I feel like there's
John Wick, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. There's a movie where he goes underground thinking that the world went.
That's not John Wick.
Someone's like getting my sarcasm.
No.
Beer.
There it is. But I think it sounds cool. It's got promise. Oh, but it barely missed Fallout or Vault 77. I believe is the one where it's a single dude with 900 puppets. So that would have been a cool game too. In that vault.
How do you know this? Where is this information?
I did some reading.
Why did they do that? Give this guy some puppets. We've got to see what happens.
Yeah, why the puppets?
Will he develop a community? Like Wilson? He just talks all over. They all have personalities.
God, I've been asking you questions.
Answer the question!
I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I mean, you have to. I haven't jumped that far into the lore.
I can't hear the sound bits.
I can't hear the sound bits.
Okay, so as a disclaimer, I'm going to actually say that we made a mistake. We made a boo-boo here. Ben does not have any headphones, so he has no idea what we're saying as we're saying it and what sort of sound bites are played. So he's kind of going in deaf.
Just severely handicapped.
Severely.
Extremely. So yeah.
God, why did your face strain that much when you said that?
I needed them to hear what I can't.
This is what you're
Let me read what you're going to press there, bud.
That's Alex Jones.
Was it funny, y'all?
Well, our next piece of news: Bungie is developing a non-Destiny game, and the budget is set at $100 million. So they're setting something. Real talk.
Oh, I'm fine. Let's get back to business there.
Jay's
bud.
trying to hand over the headphones, but
I don't need your headphones. Won't that trip out your OCD? You'll have to clean it for like 7 hours. Just scrubbing them down. These headphones have been...
So I have a little bit of a problem with germs.
That's personal.
Well,
Yeah, it's debilitating.
well, that's depressing.
Probably because you're liberal.
God damn it.
Yeah, good one.
Thanks, man.
We're in Portland. Everybody's liberal.
Don't tell them our location. What if they come after us?
Liberal.
Portland, Maine. Dopest city on the earth.
Yeah, on the East Coast.
It's real
Portland,
chilly.
Texas.
So, non-Destiny game from Bungie. So maybe a Halo. Oh, no, never mind. They're not
No,
part of
they
Halo
sold
anymore.
the
That's
rights.
right.
It'll probably just be another game where you shoot shit and have to grind
Aliens,
for 7 hours.
yeah,
And it's called, like... Sure. You'll
It's
buy
called,
it.
like... You'll buy it.
Bungie made it. You'll buy it.
Next step.
I haven't been a fan of Bungie games, like any of them.
Me either.
Yeah.
I was a big Halo fan. We've already talked about this. So let's not delve too deep into that again, but
Okay.
we know the deal.
All
Yeah.
Bungie games are pretty dumb. And Destiny, I never got into it at all. So,
I'm testing.
next piece of news.
Go ahead.
PUBG is suing Fortnite for copyright infringement.
What?
Yeah.
So forgive me, not familiar with PUBG. That's another...
Players Unknown Battleground. Yeah.
So
It
just
was like the
Fortnite.
original Battle Royale.
One
That's
of
what
them,
started the trend.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, then the WWE should sue them. Because they started Battle
That,
Royale.
yeah.
True.
Does it actually have 100 men?
No, I
No,
wish.
it has 40. I thought.
okay.
It's down for 100 men. But
Wait, what does I'm wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt, and I have no idea how many the Battle
30.
Royale. 30?
it's 30. I just watched this last year's.
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right.
Rey Mysterio won.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You're thinking of the Royal Rumble.
I am
that's
thinking
what
of
I'm
the Royal
thinking,
Rumble.
yeah.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? What?
One of them you must go over the top rope, and
That's the Royal Rumble.
that's the Royal Rumble. The Battle Royale could be pinfall submissions, you name it.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm thinking that's what it is. I don't know for sure.
Just made up a new wrestling.
What about-
But I wish everybody could have seen that because I look so confident explaining it, and they're like, "Wow, really?"
Probably our listeners wouldn't have known any better. Oh,
Unless they're fans of the WWE. Yeah, I'm still calling it WWF.
I know, dude. It's so much cooler. Federation versus Entertainment. Federation.
I want to be a part of a
federation.
federation.
that was like 10 years ago when they changed it.
Yeah, I'm still mad.
I just want to be a villain. I was watching The Matrix the other day, and I'm like, dude, like, they walk in this room, they're like, are there agents? They're like, yes. They're like, fuck! Like, I want someone to do that when I walk in the room. Is Ben here? Fuck! He's such a villain.
Is Scott here?
Fuck! No, they're like, yay, cool.
Is Scott here?
It's kind of kooky.
Actually, he is.
He's a groovy guy. He's a special guy.
I wish you've seen this
Get a
video.
little sugar in him. Yeah,
What's that? Yeah,
It's a real good video.
you're left in the dark.
I'm out of the loop right
Hey,
now.
man,
as
just
a whole.
enjoy it. Just giggle.
As a whole.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while.
We haven't seen him for a month.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not used to this
haven't
podcasting.
So, oh yeah, Agony, that game we talked about. Horrible ratings.
4.0 from IGN.
Yeah.
You basically have to take a shit on the CEO's desk to get that.
I know.
They get
And
all-
trust me, I've tried.
Yeah, I know. He got a 4.5 for doing it.
Well, they said like most. It's like, that's a 4.5.
I'd expect a little more shit next time.
Thought it'd be a lot smellier.
And there was agony involved when I did that, but not as much agony as agony
Yeah,
has
the game
endured,
itself.
because that game looks terrible. There's gross boobs and genitals everywhere.
So
and,
cool with that.
Well, they said
Well, hang on.
they said-
mutilated boobs and genitals.
they said
Again,
environment
cool with
environment was interesting, but the game sucked. That was
yeah, because the gameplay was repetitive. Like it's like place the skull on this handy dandy stump of a man's bottom part.
Or or excrement, like
Yeah.
turns
literally.
into a baby doll that
dip
runs
this
away.
excrement in blood and then take it to the altar.
I hate those kind of missions. Find this, bring
The
it back.
knee bone
Find
connects to the doo doo that connects to the whatever bone.
learned
Like
that in
that's
elementary
disgusting.
school.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I took a anatomy class that had all that in it.
this knee bone connects.
I don't know because I
to
slept
the
through anatomy.
turd butt.
Turd butt.
butt sack.
Okay. as we continue forward.
What's a butt sack? You have one of those.
I did.
It flares up every
my
2 years.
butt sack exploded. I wrote a note in my phone. I always know when my anxiety spills over because my asshole explodes. It's the telltale sign that my stressful event in life is coming to a halt.
Oh, I thought you were parodying like the Telltale Heart, but with the Telltale Butthole sack.
Not that witty, bud.
He's not that witty.
My butthole just literally...
It does throb.
I get stressed out. I get this giant cyst right next to my butthole. And then when my stressful event has ended and my anxiety has fled, it just busts. And I wake up with just pussy covered
Lord.
underwear that get sticky.
You're not.
Listen, guys. This is a gaming podcast. We're talking major shit here.
I feel like somebody could develop a mobile game.
Try not to let your asshole explode. You gotta
Yeah.
keep your stress below here, otherwise your butt cyst gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
If it gets too big, it explodes, and your girlfriend breaks up with you.
Aw.
You died.
You got pus in your shorts.
Oh, Lord. This has gone downhill.
No, it's going up. All right. Anyway, Agony sucks.
Agony sucks.
What happens when you crowdfund a game, I guess.
Well, I mean, some games get crowdfunded and they're fun.
I can't think
You
of
don't
one
say
that I
that.
thoroughly enjoyed.
I can.
We need major
What?
developers. We
On
need,
Minecraft?
console.
we need
Minecraft.
CEOs.
That was a PC port, though.
Triggered.
Most console games are like that.
Don't say that.
Well, did you guys hear that there's a rumor of EA Skate 4?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, rumors.
Didn't we already say that last one?
No, I don't know if
thought we
there's
talked about-
officially a ruler.
Well,
We
we
were
said
talking about what
suck.
we'd
We
like to
send
see.
text
Suck.
messages.
No, y'all kicked me out of the group chat. Y'all just text each other now. I gotta say, it
What do you
hurts
mean?
a little.
We didn't kick you out.
What do you mean? I'm hurt. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
I didn't kick you out.
You're
Yeah.
You're not kicked out.
Kick him out.
I was kidding. God.
Okay.
What did you say?
Let's see. I don't know about EA, bro. Or Skate 4, you said?
Yeah.
It's in the stumping.
Well, it might be
It's
fun.
in the game.
There you go.
It's in the game.
Pretty easy. Oh, that's pretty easy.
All right, our last two pieces of news.
Dope.
There's a new PS4 coming out, a small PS4 Slim that's blue.
Enough.
Another one?
And the weird thing is, you think they just all go all pros, but
Why?
guess not,
We don't
blue
need it.
boys.
I can't deal with it, man.
give
More
me
and more
PS5.
PS4s. Yeah, just get it over with, man.
It's like
It's
an
the same
iPhone.
PS4, it's just painted different.
Stupid. iPhone 6, 7, 8. You know what the deal is. Come on. This PS4 wireless charger, what?
And lastly, Assassin's Creed got leaked on Reddit. The new Assassin's Creed, and like no joke, like 2 hours later they dropped the trailer for it.
Damn.
And it's called Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a sequel to last year's Assassin's Creed, and it's like Spartans. Seems like Roman Empire or something like that. In Egypt.
Gladiators, huh?
Is Russell Crowe a downloadable
I
character?
hope so.
Are you
hope
not
so.
entertained?
Is there a mission where you get to like go after his family?
Are you not entertained?
That should be the slogan.
The tagline, for sure.
Assassin's Creed Gladiator. Are you not entertained? But it's like a shrimpy guy saying it. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Why not?
That's a huge missed opportunity if
If they don't have Russell
if they
Crowe.
don't, well, at least not using that tagline.
I agree.
Yeah.
It might be copyrighted by Russell Crowe, and he's a fighter.
I don't-
He beats people up a lot.
He just has that tagline copyrighted.
Yeah, if you say those 3 words, he'll show up at your house and just punch you in the face.
Like that episode of South Park.
Oh my god, I think there's somebody knocking on my door right now.
It's Russell Crowe.
Really?
Yeah, but he's wearing his...
It's probably my crazy neighbor Joyce. She's like 87 years old from New York. Are you not entertained?
She's distantly related, and she knows the rules.
Yeah.
She just stands right up and
She
walks
beats
out.
people up. No, she was sitting outside of. So I live in this apartment complex, and I have to go downstairs past her apartment, and she was downstairs on the sidewalk with her gross, disgusting feet out in the sun, and she nods at me like I know what's going on, and so I was like, hey, good afternoon. She's like, can I have a minute of your time?
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
nope, I gotta go. I'm gonna be late for work, man.
She's like a lizard, but she only soaks in the sun through her feet for energy.
Yeah, was that photosynthesis? No, that's not
Photosynthesis.
photosynthesis.
That's plants.
Yeah.
That's plants, dog.
Snakes just do it, and that's why they like to
'Cause they're
chill on
cold-blooded.
rocks. Yeah, the blood warms up, and they get on about their day. Russell sends his regards. That's what she says.
I was gonna tell you, Russell sends his regards.
Now to the main And the most important part of this podcast, we're going to solve a few world problems here, boys. We're going to talk about controversies in video games.
Oh, okay.
There's been a lot of controversies in video games. I don't know if you remember the hot coffee controversy with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I do.
I do not.
It's pornog.
Well, if you have an OG version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which I do happen to have, and you do the right things, I believe it's kind of difficult. There's actually like a sex
But that doesn't
minigame.
stop you, does it?
I've never done it, to be honest with
Don't
you.
all of them kind of have that? Like,
No, like an actual, like, you can see
the dick
everything.
going
Yeah.
in the veg?
And so they pulled it. It got an AO rating. They pulled it off the shelves, and they had to re-release it. So only the OG copies have them. So there's also the Mortal Kombat controversy with blood, where like they're like, oh, it's violent. You know, this is like 90s.
Yeah, that was when I think it was Reagan's wife really started going after games and music, wasn't it? One
Probably.
of the president's wives.
Sounds like something Reagan's wife
They
would
started with music because they came after Twisted Sister because they said the lyrics inspired some kid to off himself. So I think I might not know what the fuck I'm talking about.
do. Could be. I don't know anything about that.
It was a big thing because the rating systems, because
Yeah.
the parental advisory came out for music. I'm pretty sure video games were involved. I think Bush might have gone after it. Junior, not senior.
I thought you were talking about Bush the band.
They were triggered.
Glycerine.
Glycerine in my machine head.
Glycerine.
I like that one song. I can't remember. Breathe in, breathe
But-
out. Come on, guys.
There's a few controversies that happened this week. One is violence. We're talking violence in video games right now. So one is a game came out called Active Shooter. In an active shooter, you can play multiple modes. You can play as the SWAT, or you can play as the active shooter. And obviously, if you're the active shooter, your objective was to like rack up a body count.
Well, Call of
That's
Duty's
so-
already done it. Call of Duty did
I know,
it, and
kinda.
they got a lot of shit.
Yeah, it is.
But in this climate, like I understand, like you got to be able to push the envelope. But in this particular climate, like that's
It's on
that's
the-
super poor taste.
So yeah, I understand it's poor taste, but the question is, should it be allowed?
So my
Not now, dude.
Well, I'm very much a proponent of being able to say what you want in the proper context. Like, you guys know I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan, and I don't think anything's off the table when it comes to stand-up. But that's an avenue for that.
Sure.
With this, I think if this was a training simulator for police officers, or, you know, this shouldn't be able to be accessed by a 12-year-old kid who already might
Sure.
be thinking about shooting up his
Right.
school. And then he grabs daddy's AR-15 and mows down everybody because the game gave him confidence.
Well, to that point, though, even if it's not accessible, or even if it is accessible at that particular, like say it's at a store, it's going to have a mature rating. 12-year-old kids aren't going to be able to buy it theoretically.
Yeah.
But there's shitty parents out there.
Yeah, I'm a shitty parent too. No, I don't have any children.
I have a bass guitar.
But like Grand Theft Auto 3, when that first came out, they had to massively overhaul that game because of the events of 9/11.
Yeah, for sure.
There was even
It
a
changed-
mission where you had to crash your plane into a building. That's the
Yeah.
biggest reason why the Dodo does not fly.
Wow. Well, there you go. There's another one. But I mean, it's weird because it's like almost like where do you draw a line on games like this?
It's true.
It's like, okay, yeah, we can censor this guy, but if someone else doesn't like the fact that you can't play as a woman in the game, all of a sudden you're like, eh. So that's where it becomes difficult.
Well, and that's the part. I mean, that's just this country in general. We toe the thin red line every single day with almost everything we do. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, everything's going to offend someone. Mm-hmm. Like, literally everything. You can make a fat joke to me, it wouldn't bother me. You can make it to someone beside me, they will go off on their handle because they're triggered.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say what you literally cannot produce because it's that offensive.
Yeah.
When is it pushing the boundaries and when is it just downright stupidly inappropriate?
For sure. And this is definitely
Active
inappropriate.
shooters downright actively stupid.
Well, to add to the story a little bit, Valve came out and said obviously it does not support this game, and it was pulled immediately. And it came to find out that same user had created a few other games, and it was all trolling people. Like he never meant to actually release a fun game. Like he was trying to get a reaction from people, and he's been very successful in it because it was on Fox News and CNN and all this other shit. And
So he succeeded in his goal of just kind of stirring up the...
I don't think he ever. Oh, and I don't think he ever actually meant to release the game.
Probably not, but I mean, we know the clout. Look what just happened with Roseanne. She makes one stupid fucking tweet in her whole career, and everyone who was on her show. You have to be aware nowadays. Like, we have to accept. I'm not someone who gets offended, but we have to accept that this is the world we live in. We live in a very, very triggered world right now.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's offended by everything.
Yeah, it's true. And this is one where, like, me personally, where I'm never, like, triggered. I wasn't necessarily triggered by it, but I was like, oh, I don't know.
It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be, like, shooting people. And there weren't kids in it, but you're still, like, shooting people.
So describe when you say it made you uncomfortable. Why did it make you uncomfortable rather than just be like, that's in poor taste?
Oh, no, that's what I mean by it. It's in very poor taste. Active shooter, at this point in time, like, I understand that, like, if he didn't even mean for it to be released, like, whatever, that's one thing. But the fact that it is now, like, out in the world, like, it's dangerous.
He never released it. It's not out.
On the other hand, there's going back.
But are people playing it?
No.
Yeah, it's never came out.
It never came out, yeah.
It was a proposed
my
idea.
mistake.
I don't even think he really developed it that long.
No.
But I mean, everybody, like, there's games about so many things that will probably offend people. Like, just people, like, veterans who've gone to war or stuff. You know, we play games that simulate that action. For them, that might hit close to home.
Sure.
Games where you, like Grand Theft Auto, or you run down people on the streets. I mean, you Grand Theft Auto, you can totally be an active shooter if you want to do it. You can run around and wherever and just mow people down.
I think it's the intent of the game. Like, in Grand Theft Auto, your intent is not to be an active shooter. Your intent, I mean, you can cause havoc, but really, at the end of the day, you're, like, robbing banks, and
Right.
So you could say, I am an active shooter, but this is, like, specifically.
Well, and if you're a pussy like me, then you just go steal a helicopter and skydive all day.
But that's where
At least you
you got to
steal
be careful with that line, because if we'd say that person doesn't have the right to, and I'm just being devil's advocate.
No, I agree with you.
I don't agree with the concept of the game. Please don't get me wrong when I say what I'm saying. It's just one of those things that, okay, so we got this guy pulled. When's the next group of super anti-gun activists going to come for Grand Theft Auto?
No, for sure.
Look,
And
we got this game pulled.
That's where it's
coming for
hard.
you.
That's where it's hard, because it's like, yes, this is in poor taste, but I try to ask myself the question and think about the fact, do I want it pulled off, or should everyone just be allowed to create and say what they want? That's where it's hard, because
it's your prerogative as the customer to buy that game.
Exactly, or not buy the game.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's
a
been
sticky
pulled.
subject.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. And that's what we're talking about today with just these kind of controversies and stuff, because we have another one here too. Excuse me. The Battlefield 5 trailer dropped, and one of the big things people were bitching about, specifically people online, is that there were women in the trailer fighting, which, in World War II there were some women who fought, but it wasn't a big, huge thing. But people are getting triggered saying that, oh, SJW movement, they're just putting women in everything now and all this other shit. It's so unrealistic. It's getting old.
It's just as stupid of an argument for people getting mad at the new reboot of Star Wars for having a black person in it.
Yeah.
You're just as ignorant. You're just as stupid. Like,
right.
I mean, it's a video game. We're not talking about a documentary.
Well, there's people who are, sorry to interrupt you, there's people who are also getting mad that apparently in the new Harry Potter movie, Dumbledore doesn't really talk about the fact that he's gay. And they're like, wow, you're putting down the fact that he's gay. It's like, well, probably in the movie, Dumbledore never had anything sexual, straight or gay. It just it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
You don't. It's not a thing.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of people getting mad about, like, they want that war game, is Battlefield that we're talking about?
Battlefield 5, yeah.
Battlefield 5, they want it to be, like, ultra realistic. Like, I'm sure there are mechanics and physics of that game that are just not at all realistic.
Yeah, there's so what happens is you go through this. Well, in the trailer, he goes through this door. The lady has a robotic arm, no joke, in World War II. Oh yeah, and then the dude throws a grenade in the air, and a plane flies by, and you shoot the grenade in the air, and it takes down the plane.
I heard there was also an alternate cut where a golden retriever is also let out into the battle zone, and it's a trailer for the upcoming Airbus movie. There's no rule in the rule book that says a golden retriever can't fight Nazis.
That's true.
Well, so I mean, it's interesting that there's almost like a triggering for people feeling like I don't know how to that there's a social justice warrior movement. Like, hey, you're just pushing a social justice agenda.
So, well, you're looking at the two camps with these last two stories. Mm-hmm. You're looking at probably far left, more left-leaning people that would want to pull games like Grand Theft Auto, active shooter. I mean, like some hardcore good old boy from Kansas not going to be like, I don't care, I'll get to shoot stuff, let's do it. Whereas your Battlefield, it's those stupid alt-right, like, fucking loser kids who can't, like, well, the white man's being taken away off his pedestal, they're coming for us, boys.
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, I know.
They're coming
Can't
for my
fuck 'em.
kids.
I'm not gonna dare play games with them.
Why? It's like, why do you even give a shit? It's a video game. Why do you care if there's a
why
woman
do
there
we
or not?
care? Why, as a society, do we care about so much?
I could understand if they came out and they said, look, we're doing a complete and utter realistic depiction. We're trying to keep it as realistic as possible. And you're like, wait, I don't feel like, that tank was there or that there's women in that battle. I kind of can understand that. But the game's not realistic. It's battle. It's like Call of Duty.
Right.
The only person who should get triggered by this event is a World War II historian who's dedicated his whole life to the study of this act, or this war.
What do you picture him saying?
Gosh.
Gosh, there's no golden retrievers in battle.
He's got to know, though, that this is not what the intent of this game.
Of course, but I literally think he's the only person who has any right. And by the way, he could be 30. He doesn't have to be this guy with like a monocle. Gosh, they've taken me down the door. What's that?
All right, redo it.
No.
Okay.
Well, he might say, "Oh man," that's a 30-year-old. What?
Yeah.
What? And he's gonna go about reading World War II stuff because he doesn't have time for this bullshit. And that's it.
Well, so a bunch of people are now boycotting the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
They're triggered
all
because they're saying that Battlefield is just pandering to the liberal media and the liberal people.
The liberal media has come for our games. Batten down the hatches, folks. Batten down. I'm gonna grab your pussy. Thanks, Donald, for stopping by.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. What else do we have on the agenda?
I mean, the last, I guess, piece of interesting, or the last controversial things is, do we think that video games should be held to a different standard than other entertainment or art forms? So, like, there are a lot of violent movies. If you're playing a violent video game, should it be... Some people think it should be more regulated because you're the one kind of being violent and you're controlling them. But I feel like that it should be held at the same standard. Like, an R rating is similar to an M rating.
There's no research or indication that a video game has ever caused a violent act that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
There's been no study done that said little Mikey playing Grand Theft Auto 4 hours a night ended up with him killing his family and then going to school with a gun. I don't think it's the problem. I think the regulations in place for video games, there's no common issue that's saying the current rating system isn't working.
Yeah.
So no, it's art. It's an art form. It's up to you as the parent to make sure that your kids don't grab onto a game that you wouldn't have them want. I mean, you can walk in the room and see what games they have. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah,
So-
be a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, stop blaming the art and stop blaming things that other people are enjoying just fine. Find the root of the problem. And, I mean, we could go on a whole political run here. We're not going to do that. But, your problem, I think the rating system in place is working fine. So
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, I would tend to agree with you. It's one of those weird things where people are like, well, they need to be more well-regulated. It's like, well, you do have to be, like, 17 or 18, I don't remember what it is, to get an M-rated game. Like, you can't just go buy a video game. I think for some reason people assume that there's no ratings on video games or something, that you just go, yeah, I'm going to go buy the new Call of Duty when I'm 10 years old or whatever. But it's just parents don't pay attention.
They don't. I mean, I couldn't buy the Marshall Mathers EP when I was 11. You certainly couldn't go and buy, Doom. Wait, I guess it's not a good one. Anywho.
Well, with digital distribution too, it's made it more difficult for parents because they just put their credit card into the Xbox or whatever, and the parents, the kid clicks buy, and so I think it's up to the parents.
They get email notifications of that though.
I know, but
you got to be more vigilant as a parent if you're going to do something like that.
Correct.
When you walk past your kid's room and he's playing a game where he's got a flamethrower and he's just taking out groups of civilians, you got to be like, "Hey, what's that?" Like,
yeah.
I don't have to be a parent. I get to ignore my child for another 5 hours.
Or if you have the
Did you burp?
No.
It smells like Thousand Island.
Yeah, I burped.
Dude, that's fucking gross. I'm not in the mood for salad anymore. Cancel dinner, hun.
Well, what I was gonna say is, man, I lost my train of thought.
It's that Thousand Island curse.
Thousand Island curse
Just wipes your memory.
Do you remember what you're going to say there?
No.
Doesn't have any idea.
No, I lost my train of thought.
I wish y'all knew how sweaty it was in here. Those apartments, the goddamn fucking heat trap.
You know, I don't know why it's been like that. Every single apartment I've ever lived in, or every single house that I've ever seen, every single house I've ever lived in, it's been 10 degrees, 20 degrees warmer than outside.
You have like an opposite ghost. Because most of the time ghosts cool down your spot, which I've always said would be kind of cool to have one because I run hot, and it's like an air conditioner that follows you around. Because that's what they do. They leave cold spots. You've got a bad ghost. You've got some demonic energy.
Leave your
in here.
stupid comments in your pocket.
We need some power of exorcism.
The power.
We've got to exercise your spirit because it's not in the dwelling. It's attached to you.
What if that was a video game? Be your own exorcist.
It's like a exorcism
Power of
game.
Christ.
That'd be
kinda fun.
controversial.
It's like, may the power of Christ compel you, and then there's like a mini game where you're
it's a
moving
quick
across.
action. It's a quick action event.
You legit just
Quick
me,
time
myself,
events.
and Irina. Like you're like, I don't want to be possessed anymore. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do, you cunt. Your grandmother sucks cocks in hell.
Just made me lightheaded. I think a demon possessed me. They coming for me, Barbara.
I think your butthole sack is filling up again.
With demons.
With demons.
With demonic energy.
Well, I mean, those are the main pieces of controversy I wanted to talk about. Women in games, games being violent, blah, 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 blah.
What about
triggering.
Leisure Suit Larry? He was
Ooh.
controversial.
Dude, I remember, I have an interesting Leisure Suit Larry story. When I was young, my aunt,
What the hell is that? I have no idea what we're talking about.
So Leisure Suit Larry is like this game where basically you play this kind of like skeezy dude where the whole objective is just to make sex with women.
Make it.
And he's like the skeezy guy, and he just wears a leisure suit, and he's kind of weird.
I'm coming.
And so I remember my aunt had given us a DOS computer, like an old DOS computer, and it had Leisure Suit Larry installed. But Leisure Suit Larry had a parental lockout, and the parental lockout was actually a series of history questions. So literally, like, apparently, like, an adult would have to answer the questions correctly to get through. And of course,
dumb.
yeah, and I could get through. So I would play it. And, like, literally, you walk in this bar, you get, like, a condom. You have to get a condom, because if you don't get a condom and you have sex with a lady, you die. You walk outside, and he says, I have a STD, and he dies.
Choose abstinence.
That's a quick working STD, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
that's
And they played
super
around.
AIDS.
It's serious. But, yeah, Leisure Suit Larry is a classic, interesting one.
The one was called Magnum Cum Laude, and the major name says cum.
When did this game come out?
There's like
There's a
three
bunch of them. There's a bunch of them.
Hey, we're talking about.
There's a bunch of different games like that have this kind of M rating, and there's another game that was called like the guy game, I want to say, or something like that, which is like there had a nudity in and stuff, and it was like almost like a Girls Gone Wild game, and that one was another controversial game that got pulled off the shelves because one of the women was under 18.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that game. I wanted it badly.
There's another one, and continue to talk about Guy's game, because there's this other one that was like straight up pornog.
Why do you say pornog? Just say Rafi after. It's like,
Can you just finish the word for me when I say pornog?
Rafi.
Thank you.
Wow.
But then people are going to get confused with Lion King. That's a cool subject. Sorry.
Rafiki.
Rafiki.
Y'all didn't get my reference quick enough. You know, something controversial when I was a kid. It was a game that looked like it was marketed for children. Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah. Wait, did we talk about that one?
We did talk a little bit about the shit monster, but the whole game was just laden with profanity. Your parents wouldn't look at the rating; they'd look at the cover.
Yeah.
I found it.
What?
My Google fingers are fast. It's called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one before.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Is
They
that
hired like professional underwear models and like women in wrestling to play these like these FM these FMV like videos and stuff to act out whatever the scene was, and then you had to like do this whole role play. It was stupid.
Yeah, it was a super horrible game. I did see that one before. There's also another one that was called like Night Shift or something like that was similar, and it was like you had to control these cameras and you had to watch like these women at a slumber party, and that was another big
peeping Tom.
Yeah, exactly. That was another big one that was like a media buzz.
Oh my god! So I just Googled the the developer. It's 3DO or 3D0 for those of you that are wanting to play this Pornog game.
Riffy.
Pornog
Riffy.
game.
Riffy.
And they have several of these games, and they look scandalous.
Well, go purchase them.
Yeah.
If you can.
You probably can't. They're extremely rare collector's items.
Probably.
I'm trying to think of any other games that I remember as a kid that were just like no-fly zone. Like I couldn't touch them. My mom was pretty strict.
Mortal Kombat.
My mom loved Mortal Kombat. She loved to beat the shit out of each other.
The normal kid's mom.
I wasn't normal. My mom was super Christian.
Yeah, but the normal kid's mom doesn't mean that your mom wasn't normal.
My parents
You
didn't care
were
at
not
all.
normal.
Why would you say that?
My parents didn't care at all. I could watch her play whatever I wanted.
That's why you ended up being a psychopath who uses all these video games to live out his real life fantasies of mass murder and fucking running a prostitution ring.
Right? Don't you shoot boys with sniper rifles? Sniper rifles.
Snapper.
Yeah, that happens.
Did that trigger you? You got kind of quiet.
No,
you
no.
clammed up there.
He had this 1,000-yard
I
gaze.
played tons
in
of
his
different
eyes.
games,
They're onto
so I mean, I was playing Flight Simulator the other day, so I guess I did live out my dream of being a pilot.
Wow, dude. You were bored, huh?
I love Flight Simulator.
Game
So.
sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Here we go. And we were in for a 4-hour...
One time I flew
flight.
from Boise, Idaho to Sandpoint, Idaho. It was an hour flight. I flew the whole thing,
Oh my
and I
God.
crashed the bitch at the end.
Can you do like cross-country flights? Like
You
you
can do
legit
whatever you
just
want,
sit there
yeah.
for 5 hours?
Can you crash it on purpose?
Yeah.
That is triggering. Because I don't know if you remember, some terrorists did that.
No,
That-
Terrorist.
terrorizers.
Well, before that, there was Richie Valens. His flight went down.
So did...
Buddy Holly's flight.
Oh, yeah. And Left Eye.
Harrison Ford.
Aaliyah. I think Left Eye was a car.
Yeah, it was a car.
Harrison Ford. He's not dead, though.
I know. He kept control of it like a badass.
And then you got the
Didn't,
guy...
the
He landed on the
dude
golf
from Leonard
course, I think.
Skinner?
half the band died.
Yeah, half the
Yeah.
band of Leonard Skinner.
We lost a good chunk. They still use rebel flags. I find
Did
that
we
odd.
lose Leonard?
No, just Skinner.
It's just
I wonder
Skinner.
where they got that name. It's probably something dumb. They're just like legit rhyming words. He's like, Boy, Saul, Wall, Leonard, Skinner. Like, dude, say that one again.
Leonard.
Leonard Skinner. They're like, fuck.
Let's do that.
Give me my rebel flag. I'm writing it down.
I'm gonna write it down on the back of this rebel flag.
Right in the right-hand corner there, Leonard.
Thanks, Skinner.
So I guess I was going to ask you, Ben, have you played that Dark Souls remake yet? Or remaster?
You know, I've invested a lot of YouTube time into seeing if it's worth it, and I don't see it as worth my
Well,
money.
if you just want, well, I mean, if you want to play,
If you've never
Dark
played
Souls
the
again.
original, 100%. If you've played the original 20 times like I have, don't do it. Because it's basically the same game with some polished texture. They didn't even add any fun, they added some matchmaking techniques to make multiplayer a little bit more, not accessible, just, you can have more people in, you can invade with more people. But yeah, for the most part, I watched videos. I watched it. My favorite boss fight in that game was Artorias, and that's why I told you should buy it strictly for the DLC, because it is worth it if you haven't played the DLC. But yeah, dude, I was just like, God damn, it looks the same. I could go pull out my PS3 side by side, and you'd be like, this is the same fucking game. Kind of a bummer, because I was really looking forward to it. I wanted to play it in high def, when they did, what was the game they remastered? I think it was Halo.
yeah,
They remastered Combat Evolved. They basically rebuilt that from the ground up.
but that's like 3 generations apart. You're going from Xbox, a regular Xbox, all the way to Xbox One.
But dude, if you can do what they did with Scholar of the First Sin, which is the second Dark Souls game,
Yeah, they added a bunch of little things.
the remaster looks so much better.
It was cool. They also added difficulty, which was really cool.
Dude, to an extent.
Hyde's Fume Tower or Hyde's
That's the
Tower of
second
Flame
level or
yeah,
second
is
area.
A bitch.
What a stupid, God, that game is such a fucking shit stain on Dark Souls Legacy.
How dare you? That's my favorite one.
I like the game. That makes me question you as a person. It's a great game. So many mediocre boss fights. This isn't controversial at all. A lot of people think this. And the level layout.
Just because a lot of people think something doesn't mean that it's not
Yes,
controversial.
Oh, wait. That's true. I thought you were going somewhere else and I almost cut you off. I apologize. Sure, Dark Souls 2. Piece of shit. Still fun. Still loved it. But, remastered. I'd skip on it unless you played the first one.
Well, there you go. Now
And
you
that's
know.
my 2 cents.
Well,
We have
maybe when
taglines.
it's like $20 or $30.
That's my bucket.
Wait, hold on. What's your tagline?
If I didn't say it first, I'll say it again.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me.
Well, okay, Scott, what's yours?
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me.
That's a good one. That's true.
I like that.
It's a very accurate tagline.
Anything else you guys want to cover before we close this bad boy right on here?
Around here. It's not counting crows around here.
I was super disappointed with Agony. I was excited about that.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's other better games. They dropped the ball just like your boy up there on No Man's Sky.
So for those of you that were excited for the No Man's
excited?
Like the seven.
for those of y'all that was excited here,
Flip it flop.
No Man's Sky is definitely a flippity flop because
It's still a flippity-flop.
dude, the game's playable now with other people and they've improved a lot of things, but nobody's playing the game anymore. Speaking of nobody playing the game anymore, this is controversial. NBA 2K is maybe almost dead. There's almost nobody playing on online servers now. They've even resorted to sending people surveys asking, why don't you play our game anymore?
Which one?
NBA 2K.
Oh.
Are people playing live though?
That's one of the questions. You can tell them you've moved on to live. You can tell them that the servers suck. You can tell them all kinds of stuff. But when it boils down to it, I'm sorry, 2K just doesn't have a good product anymore. It's a terrible miss.
Triggered.
Yeah, well,
That's disappointing. So there was one thing that, as we're getting closer to that Madden launch, I was gonna call this out. I can make custom Madden covers, so I can put whatever player you want on the cover.
I saw this.
Yeah.
Our friend Naylor showed me.
He showed you some of the ones I did.
They were pretty freaking
and
good.
those were super rough. But I was thinking about maybe doing a giveaway to our fans. That was a burp.
It sounded like a fart, and then I heard Ben go,
It was involuntary. It just happened.
But anyway, I was thinking about doing a giveaway to our fans, where whoever whatever puts I don't know how we're gonna do it. Whoever wins the giveaway I'm going to create a custom cover for them. Whoever they want. If they want Case Keenum,
The getaway. How do we sign up for the getaway? We're
The
going to
giveaway.
beach.
"Hold together, Ben."
I'm sorry, man.
I haven't thought. I don't know. I don't know how to do the giveaway. I don't know if there's a website where you can giveaway.com or we just email it.
I told you I was going to be moaning before this thing.
Wait, can we just get Ben going?
I Babe Ruthed it. The moaning's going to happen. I got to whisper. We just lost all our listeners.
Hey, for all of those people out there, even those of you in Spain, apparently, I apologize. Lo siento.
Lo siento. In Barcelona.
In Barcelona.
I thought I had a thought. I really rushed the mic there.
And he's like,
Dude, so I'm on this keto diet, and my new hobby is looking at fast food menus before we go to bed, and I'm legit just sexual. I'm just oh, baby. You can do that to a Big Mac?
You can put bread on a Big Mac.
My girlfriend will look over, she's like, are you looking at Long John Silver's menu?
ew, Long John Silver's?
I'd kill somebody for a fish sandwich. Don't tempt me, bitch. I'll call her bitch.
We went out for dinner and we were eating all these decadent desserts right in front of him, not even thinking, oh yeah, he's on this crazy ass diet.
I've been on this diet for 5 days, and we go to get steak and greens, and then he's like, hey, gals, want some dessert? And they're like, dessert! So I sit there with my glass of vodka soda that's so plain and boring, and they're drinking spiked hot chocolates and torts and cakes, and
You just have to get used to it,
and the waiter's like, are you sure you don't want anything, man? I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Me and my girlfriend are stuffing our faces right in front, stuffing our fat faces right in front of him. Ooh, this is good. I'm kind of hungry still, though.
Yeah, I legit never eat anything that tastes as good as this. I love sugar.
And then Ben's like this.
God damn. But yeah, keto sucks. Y'all don't do it unless you're almost diabetic like I was, and you gotta set your path on back straight.
Your feet were tingling.
The tingles from 2 weeks ago when we did our last. I made a little joke out of reality. Laugh at my pain. The tingles have
Subsided.
Subsided. Thank you, Scott, for the big word assist.
The diabetes has went away.
I don't think it's went away. I think it's lying dormant. It's waiting for me to slip up.
Scott,
Ben, they were like, I was like, Ben, you should go to the doctor for that. And he's like, yeah, well, maybe. And he's like thinking, well, I could just go on the diet and skip going to the doctor.
I can eat a bunch of burgers and mayonnaise. And you know it.
Oh, Ben introduced me to Duke's mayonnaise.
I've never had it.
Butter of the
We're
South,
officially
y'all.
sponsored by Duke's mayonnaise
Don't
now.
say that. That'll
We're not
fucking
officially.
fine. I've
never had
Yeah, we're
Duke's.
not officially sponsored.
So, listeners, you're going to get some helpful advice. Go ahead and open up your Amazon Prime accounts. Find a big old jar of Dukes. Make yourself a turkey sandwich. Don't be a ham sandwich. Do turkey. And you're gonna send in something to us, and you're gonna say that guy changed my life forever. To that I say, you deserve it. Duke's mayonnaise, y'all.
Well,
Big shout out.
shout out. Do you guys have any other shout? Do you guys have any shout outs?
No.
I don't really. I guess shout out to my boy Patrick because he listens every single episode.
Hey, actually, no, I take that back. Shout out to Javad. He's still like our most active Instagram follower on Peanut Butter and Triggered.
I think, dude. So the goal, if this podcast is to continue, and we build this momentum, I think the goal should be a guest spot from none other
Ben Javad,
Javad, that would be
wherever
amazing.
the hell in the world he is. I want to make it.
I'm pretty sure because I feel like he's tagged some stuff or he's took a picture in front of something. So
I'm gonna put his face on a T-shirt, and we'll have that be a giveaway.
Here we go. I also have a shout out for 4 new likes on our Facebook. Jeff Brown, Brandon Lee,
Good old JB.
Alvin Canto, and Misty Real. Well, thank you for liking our page.
you see real, y'all.
Keeping it real.
All right. Well, thanks for spending your day, night, or whenever you listen to this with us. And have a good night.
Thank you. Hey, bye, y'all.